Alright guys, welcome back to the show. It's Tuesday night again, which is game night as per usual. I'm going to give these Orks a run because I've got a few mates that are going down to the Ark tournament, and this year obviously they're thinking that Orks are going to be pretty popular, so they want me to bring this down and give it a bit of a test run. Bit of an overview for anyone that doesn't know what Ark is. It's kind of like a friendlier tournament base, so you still get people that can break lists and things like that, but it's definitely more about fun than it is about hardcore lists. So this would probably break some of their little meta down there due to being a bit over the top with armor and stuff like that. But as we're testing lists out, this is what I brought. So getting to the army, this is at 1350 points. So in HQ, got a Death Killer War Track. If you want a bit more information on him, I did pop a video up on Sunday speaking about my thoughts and a bit of Tactica stuff and that on him. So this is his first battle today, so he'll be getting a run. Second in charge is War Boss on foot. So I'm just taking him with the shooter and a claw, which is a bit of a cheaper way of running him at 1350. Then they're the two HQs. So troops, I've minimised the troops down a bit for this. Usually I take like a 30-man block, but lowering the points, obviously I've got to find points to squeeze in somewhere. And I like toys, so I've shortened the amount of troops. So we've got 1, 2, 3 identical units. Each of these units is a 12-man boy squad with a rocket and a knob with a power claw and combi rocket. Each of them is riding in one of these trucks, and the truck also has a rocket. So they'll probably stay inside their truck with it because they've all got shooters and shoot rockets and stuff out, and their shooters out of the side, and they probably won't get out till they need to get out. Alright, so that's the two HQs and the troops that make my battalion. Then in the elite slot, I've got a 5-man unit of knobs, just with the big choppers to escort my warlord. Love these guys. I've got to make another 5 more and make 10-man unit. So going over to the next slot, which is heavy support, these 6 will be going in my Morkanaut. So the Morkanaut's got the KFF, so the custom force field, and obviously the rockets, custom, I've done it again, I've forgotten what his shooter's called. Anyway, they're pretty much plasma, heaps of shooter. It'll come to me in a sec. And then secondly, in heavy support, we've got a 10-man looters squad. So that's the army. These 6 guys will obviously go in here. So pretty much the entire army will be mounted in trucks or in Morkanauts, and the only things that won't be is obviously this guy and then these looters. Now with the looters, depending on what I face, I was thinking I could always stick them in the teleporter and pop them out to keep them safe if I don't have the first turn or whatever, to make sure I get the maximum shooting, because you can always bring them on and do more DACA, things like that, and give them a second round of shooting just to get the full effect of them. So that's the list. It's pretty straightforward, fast, lots of rockets, lots of choppiness, new HQ, see how it goes, and big stompy guy. Alright, I'll get down to the club and I'll see who I'm playing against and we'll kick it off. Alright guys, I've gotten down to the club and this is Aaron's Dark Angels Ark list. So as I said before, these lists aren't hard because Ark is more about fun than just absolutely annihilating your opponent. But don't get me wrong, there'll still be people there trying to do that, they just won't win the tournament. Alright Aaron, run me through what you got, mate.
So we got Master with Heavenfell Blade, the Storm Shield Jump Pack.
Looking beautiful. And then second in charge,
Lieutenant with Plasma Pistol and his Power Sword.
So he's obviously still got a little bit of basin before we get to the tournament. And as you can see, this is Death Watch, which I've just pointed out, but it's a very cool model. Alright, what do you got next?
5-man Scout Squad, Heavy Bolter.
Yep.
Then we've got Intercessors with just the bolt rifles, Sergeant with his Power Sword.
And this is that cool, is this the actual upgrade kit for Intercessors? With that cool new, yeah, that's brilliant. Alright, so you got 2 of them squads.
Second squad's Stalker Pattern Bolters.
Stalker Pattern Bolters?
Yeah, just for a bit of long range.
And you've also done the same upgrade? I would do it twice too because it's that brilliant. Alright, and then that's your 3 troops, which makes your battalion.
So then Aggressors at the back, just for some fire support.
So 3-man unit.
So Hell Blasters.
5-man unit, and what plasma are you rocking on them, mate?
Just the normal rapid fire ones.
Yep, so the middle of the road.
The Inceptors.
Inceptors, and you've got the plasma things, which look super cool. I like these. So you got plenty of plasma today, that's for sure. Alright, and then what do you got next?
So then the Redemptor Dread, just with old Dakar.
Yep, so this is pretty much for just mounts. You've done a really good job painting this too. The airbrushing's brilliant. Aaron's our resident airbrusher at the club, so he does a pretty good job of this sort of stuff. Looking good, mate. So that's all Dakar. And I've just hit your tank. One of these that we don't see too often. What's this thing?
It's the Repulsor.
And what do you got it armed on?
So pretty much just Dakar as well.
And a couple of las cannons.
Yeah, a couple of las cannons, yeah.
So it's going to be doing a bit of work around the field with its anti-Dakar las cannons. Is it going to transport anything?
Yes, the Hellblasters.
Alright, so it's the Hellblaster's personal ride. Alright, so that's his arc list that he's going to be going down. So anyone watching this, if you're facing him, you know what you're up against. No, I'm just joking. We'll roll up a mission and we'll see if he can smash my Orks' heads in. Alright. Alright guys, so the deployment we've got and the mission is called Cut Off the Head. Which means that you pick a couple of characters out of your army and they carry a certain amount of intel points, which is 3 of them split between characters. Now I only have 2 characters, so I've had to split them between my 2, and Aaron only has 2, so the same thing. Then this in the middle can be held by characters for extra points per turn, and each turn that your characters with the intel are alive and have not been killed, you've multiplied them points as well. So you got to keep your characters alive, kill their characters. Alright, so the deployment, I've just got 3 trucks, the bike and the big guy here, and then obviously if we come over here, they're all in the trucks. I paid 2 points to put them in the teleporter, and they're inside the big guy. I didn't want me looters getting shot. And then if we come over to here, Aaron's got pretty much all his stuff bunched here, and then some scouts over here. So I don't know which one of his 2 characters in here have the intel, but we're gonna get a power claw around their neck and try and squeeze it out of them. And then these are obviously in his repulsor, and these are in Deep Strike Reserve. So Aaron currently has first turn. Now I'm going to try and seize the initiative. By the way, these are my new GW Ork dice, so I'll tell you what I think of them at the end of the battle. If I seize the initiative, we'll be off to a good start. So, needing a 6. That's a 3. Alright, so Aaron's going to have his first turn. I'm going to get shot, and we'll get back to you after his first turn. Alright, so end of Dark Angel's turn. Sort of made a swing over this way towards my left. Now he's pretty much focused everything in his army to fire on my big stumpy guy, the Morkanaut. So first off, he fired a Hellfire shell across here, and he took 2 mortal wounds. And then off this thing, he fired the 2 las cannons and whiffed, but then he shot all the Dakar on it, did 2 more, and then he shot with this unit and did 2 more again. So he's managed to take 6 wounds off my Morkanaut with small arms fire, so never doubt small arms fire. Other than that, that was the only points he scored for this turn, and he's just made a solid move forward. So I'll see if I can't do some return shooting and blow some shit up. Or stuff up, I should say. Alright guys. Alright, Ork turn 1. So, I moved everything from here to here, just at the mid-ground, so we're all still inside the KFF. And I made sure that everything in my army was in range, or heavy weapons of here. Now all 3 trucks, 1, 2, 3, and this big guy fired all their weapons into this, and we took 7 wounds off it. So I'm reasonably happy with that. He took 6 wounds off my big guy, I took 7 wounds off his. I call that a win. No victory points or anything have been scored just as yet, so Dark Angels are about to have their turn too, and we'll see if they can't return some fire. Alright. Alright, so the end of the Dark Angel's turn, he's pretty much swung everything around. As you can see, we're going to be meeting in the middle here soon. So the majority of his firepower went into this guy with a bit of Weapons of the Dark Age from these guys, some las cannons from here, and a few little pepper shots from some units around. And I'm only on 4 wounds left, so I've taken a total of 14 wounds, so I'm limping along. Then coming down over here with some combined firepower from some stuff on this side, He's taken my truck out here and blown away the unit down to this last little dude just standing here. So I'll have my turn too and see if I can't return the favour. One funny thing did happen is he landed these exactly 18, blew the truck away and then put himself out of range. That's what happens when you don't take risks. Alright, I'll see if I can kill some Dark Angels. Alright, so start of Orc, turn 2. These guys drop down. I use 5 command points because I use 1 to reroll how many shots I got. I use 1 to give him dagger, and 1 to let him shoot twice. All of that went into here, and believe it or not, I killed 1 of them. So, mind you, I only rolled 10 shots, so it was really 20 shots total. He rolled really well, and he command pointed 1, which meant that that went terribly for me. But anyway, hopefully next turn something happens. So, over here, this moved forward, still stumbling along with only 4 wounds left. And these trucks drove around here. This guy come over here. So between the shooting of these guys, we managed to kill the Hellblasters. And I managed to get a charge off against this, which only had 1 wound left after we fired rockets out of the truck. And for my Snagger Claw for the first round of combat, I rolled 4 1s and a 2, which meant that I only got 1 hit, and then I failed the re-rollable wound. So I did 0 in combat with him. And I managed to take off a couple of wounds on the big guy with some stray rockets. This knob in here managed to charge over and kill bloody Hellblaster guy. Get in here. So, I've just been informed from turn 3 onwards, our characters that have the intel, and for this thing over here, start accumulating points from this turn on. So, Aaron will have his next turn, and we'll get back into it. Alright guys, so end of Dark Angels turn 3, and we've had some interesting turn of events. So combined firepower from, well this actually failed, didn't it? You went the...
Yeah, it failed.
Yeah, failed. But these guys over here were actually the stars. He did Weapons of the Dark Age, and he overcharged without having re-roll 1s, and what'd you get, like 10 hits into my big guy. He took like 9 to 12 wounds or something like that, blew up. The knobs and the war boss got out. Then he used this guy and a bit of other dagger to dagger into him. Shot the absolute crap out of him. So the Orks, there's 2 knobs left, 1 with 1 wound, and the war boss is there. Then he ran in here, busted my truck open with absolute ease. As you can see, that thing looks like the Hulk. In Overwatch, we took a few off him, and then because he consolidated into us, we got to attack back after he blew the truck up. He's down to 4, so he's hitting a bit slow now, but he's still hitting solid. Over here, in the combat, I Snagger-clawed the shit out of his commander. Actually, it's not true. When that truck blew up, he took 2 mortal wounds, and then only 1 unsave got through, and I managed to roll a 5 for my D3 damage on my Snagger-claw, killing him. So, yeah, I won't brag too much about that. And pretty much that's about it. And also that guy was the guy that had 2 points, was it? Yep. So obviously he's got the other points. So I'm coming for you next with my Snagger-claw. Alright, I'll have my turn 3, and we'll see what happens. Alright guys, at the end of the Orc turn 3, as you can see here, pretty much everything on the battlefield is in here just punching on. From war bosses to big bloody Primaris Marines, aggressors, we've got over here, little guys fighting big guys. Now, I've taken out Aaron's second HQ, which was his lieutenant over here. Which means that I've scored all the points for killing, what was it called, head collector or something?
So you get 3 points at the end of this battle round. I get none because I've got no people left on the field. So
besides First Blood, he can't get any more points. But we're going to play out the turn 4 and see where it goes to see whether you can, because he might just come back and just stomp my head in because he's still got some stuff here. But as far as my turn went, we killed the lieutenant. Over here, not much happened because he's down on 2. My war boss took a few wounds over here. We really whiffed actually fighting these 3 aggressors, which was a bit shite, but anyway. And over here, I rammed this truck in him trying to do something. It was more just to shut down the shooting, but nothing really happened. And these guys over here shot up here and finally pulled their finger out and killed the Inceptors? Inceptors, I think it's Inceptors. So many Incept, buddy, all these weird words. Good on you, GW. Alright. So Aaron's going to have his turn 4 and we'll see how he goes. Sad, sad times. he killed my Death Killer War Track. And he was the one that had 2 points. But, anyway, at the end of Aaron's turn over here, he managed to kill my Death Killer War Track with just piles of DAC from this, even though it was only hitting on 5s. This thing shoots so many shots, it's just ridiculous. Then in here, Combat, he opted to go first here and got my War Boss down to 1 wound, and then I activated over here and blew up his Dread. So, obviously, and then reactivated back over here, killed the aggressors, and then he punched another wound down to me truck. So, I'm going to have my turn 4 and use these guys over here to shoot and do some more things and see if we can't remove these Dark Angels off the table and send them back to the rock where they belong. Alright, so end of my Orcs turn. We've pretty much killed everything bar these 2 Marines here and a couple of Scouts over here. But in return, this brave Lieutenant here with his new cool upgrade sword, this is why you got to buy your upgrades, kids, cut down the War Boss. So, the game's over because no more points can be scored. I'm on, was it 4 points because Warlord, and you're on 2 points because Warlord and First Blood. So, the Orcs get the victory today.
You got Line Breaker as well.
Oh, and I also got Line Breaker, so what's that? 5 to 2.
5 to 2.
Yep. So, obviously, he can't do anything back because they've got all these guns on the battlefield, too many power cores, snippy things in the middle, and 2 Primaris Marines, and 2 Scouts aren't going to cut it. Now, anything you want to add overall for the battle, Aaron?
No.
No?
No, it was a good battle.
So, just going to go over a unit of the match for the Orcs that I thought was the best. Was definitely this. He whiffed in the first round, but his ability to get up close, speed, choppiness, what did he take out? 2 HQs?
Yeah. And
beat up some Marines and stuff on the way in and done some skids and all that. What was your man of the match, mate?
I'd actually have to say the Redemptor.
The Repulsor?
The Repulsor, sorry. It sort of...
It lasted till the very last round.
It copped a shitload of damage, but was still able to even though it was hitting on 5s at the end.
Yep.
Still.
So there you go, guys. Bits of word of wisdom with the amount of DACA, even when it's on its last tier. The sheer amount of shots, you are still going to cut things down. So putting a lot of DACA on it is good, and those 2 las cannons were good early rounds because bit of anti-tank and range. So there you go, guys. That's the end of the battle. One of the new missions was pretty fun. If you like the channel, like and subscribe, and no doubt me and Aaron will have a rematch. Alright, guys.